Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interviews.
Kevin Stefanski is really enjoying this moment. Kevin Stefanski is making the Browns organization basically Jerry Springer. He's making a mockery of the situation and then...
They say football's all about strategy. But for Kevin Stefanski, that word seems to mean confuse everyone in the stadium. 6 minutes left, Browns up 31-6, and Shedeur Sanders is still glued to the bench like a man in witness protection. Fans didn't just lose patience. They started arranging his coaching funeral in real time. What's the plan here? Why keep the star on ice when the game's already over? Stick around. This meltdown's just getting started.
Like members of Cleveland media is calling out Kevin Stefanski for not playing Shedeur Sanders in the fourth. To me, I feel like Shedeur definitely should have played. I feel like that's why Junior was there. It was multiple reasons and multiple situations that I was hearing that Shedeur was supposed to play yesterday. It was a damn near, I don't want to say an easy win because there's never really an easy win in the National Football League for any team on any given Sunday.
6 minutes left on the clock. Browns up 31-6. The game's basically over. Fans leaning back, laughing, riding that halftime high like they're at a theme park instead of a football field. Then suddenly, it hits them like a cold bucket of reality. Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback everyone came to see, the name on half the jerseys in that stadium, is still sitting on the bench. No snaps, no spotlight, nothing. And hey, make sure you subscribe. It helps more than you think.
When that we could have seen coming, you know what I'm saying, based on the stat sheets, based on the team and how each team is facilitated, and Dolphins are just bad. They were supposed to win that game. I'll just say that. Now, with that being said, they blew them out the water. Shedeur should have played in that fourth quarter. No ifs, ands, no buts about it. Now, I'm not the only one that feels this way because every media person in Cleveland does, bro. And it's clear as day that they have an agenda against Shedeur.
Not in the game, not taking snaps, just sitting there smiling that awkward, is this really happening? Kind of smile. You can almost see the confusion behind it, like he's waiting for someone to say, just kidding, you're in. But no, this isn't a prank. This is Stefanski's reality, and his agenda couldn't be clearer.
When you talk about backup quarterback, this is the thing where people talk about the noise on the outside and different things like that. Nobody watches the interaction between backup quarterbacks and regular quarterbacks. In regular teams, we don't care if Carson Wentz is standing next to Patrick Mahomes. You just watch Patrick Mahomes because he's good and you know what it is. But what happens is, because we are at a point that we want to watch and we need to figure out or justify why or why not is he not playing, then we got to go through these mental gymnastics. Trust me, when you're the backup quarterback, you got to head.
How do you even explain this? The Browns have a lead so huge it makes the scoreboard blush, cruising toward the finish line like it's a Sunday drive. And yet there's Stefanski, standing there like he's guarding some sacred rulebook. It is as if Shedeur Sanders has become the forbidden fruit of Cleveland, a player too gifted to touch the field until he learns humility, or bends to the will of a man armed with nothing but a clipboard and control issues.
Why didn't we see Shedeur in the fourth quarter? Kevin has already come out and said, Shedeur Sanders is not coming into a game, I mean, unless he absolutely has to, Dillon gets hurt. He's not playing until he has a full week of practice and a game plan designed for him. Why would you just put him in the fourth quarter to hand the ball off to ice the game? Then people are going to be mad, they didn't let him throw the ball. Well, no kidding. We were up 31-6.
It's raining.
It's raining. Like, you're not going to just let Dillon just ride the game out. And like I saw somebody post on Twitter that said Dillon totally deserved to go take that kneel down in victory formation for his first.
Fans are watching it unfold in real time, and the reactions are absolute chaos. Social media is on fire, group chats are detonating, and somewhere in the stands, someone just dropped their nachos in disbelief. How can a coach despise his own talent this much? Shedeur Sanders is literally sitting there, helmet ready, waiting to throw darts, run a drive, maybe even deliver that slow-motion touchdown moment fans have been dreaming about since draft night. But Stefanski, he just says, nope. You can almost picture the thought process. Shedeur isn't just benched, he's being strategically erased. This isn't discipline anymore, it's psychological warfare. The kind of silent feud only insiders sense but everyone can feel. Fans don't just notice, they feel that cold, calculated tension radiating from the sideline. Every time the camera pans to the bench and catches Shedeur, you can hear the collective groan of every Browns fan asking the same thing. Why? Why not let him play? Why not give him 6 minutes, a few snaps, a harmless drive, maybe a little hope?
I wouldn't have put life back in the season. What are you talking about? 4 minutes of Shedeur Sanders handing the ball off to Quinshawn or somebody else is not putting life back into the season, Nick.
No more than a 31-6 win over the Dolphins would.
I mean, how is that putting life back into the season? The game itself puts life back in the season, not Shedeur handing off passes for 5 minutes.
I think it was the implication that somehow that would be better than like the crowd wasn't hyped up enough about winning 31-6. I wasn't there, so I don't know what the crowd was.
But Stefanski doesn't flinch. He's rigid, locked in, completely unshakable. A man so committed to his stance that even an earthquake couldn't move him. Shedeur Sanders will not touch that field under his watch. Not while Stefanski's lungs are filled with the sweet air of coaching authority. And in a strange way, it's almost impressive. If you ignore the fan outrage, the Twitter meltdowns, and the ESPN ticker that might as well say, Coach hates fun and apparently Shedeur Sanders. And those 6 minutes, that's all it would have taken. 6 minutes, maybe 10 plays, a few empty backfield handoffs, a couple short passes, and Shedeur could have left with his pride intact, not buried under silence. Instead, we got a masterclass in denial. You could see it in every fan's face. The jersey-wearing diehards, the banner holders, the live tweeters refreshing the feed every 30 seconds. They're staring at that sideline like a magician just pulled off the wrong trick. They can't explain it, they can't justify it, and honestly, some are starting to question whether football logic even applies anymore. Because this isn't subtle. The maybe he's resting him excuse dies the moment you look at the scoreboard, the time left, and the other backups getting cycled through like spare parts in a broken experiment.
Face right there tells you everything you need to know about Shedeur possibly getting in ever. Oh my God. Look how fucking happy he is. Look at this nigga, bro. I don't know if his number's gonna be called. There's no evidence to suggest that. Oh, they're going Wildcat? Interesting. Wildcat never makes sense to me because you always know what the fuck is coming. Oh, they're running it.
Stefanski isn't resting anyone. He's sending a message. That message is loud and unmistakable. Shedeur Sanders doesn't get a victory lap. He doesn't get a moment of glory. And above all, he doesn't get Stefanski's approval. It's like watching a guest show up to a party only to be completely ignored by the host while everyone else gets cake. Brutal, hilarious, infuriating. 31-6! Fans scream online as the chaos erupts. Memes start flooding in within minutes. Stefanski drawn as the villain in some superhero flick, his only power being the ability to deny Shedeur Sanders the simplest joy known to quarterbacks: actually playing. Fans tag their friends, flood comment sections, and record hot takes from living rooms to TikTok. Somewhere, a kid clutching his brand new Shedeur jersey is staring at the TV, wondering how his hero can be treated like this. Meanwhile, Stefanski just sits there, frozen, stoic, a statue carved from pure stubbornness. You can almost hear his internal monologue. This isn't about the score. It's about principles. It's about control. He's determined to prove that no one, not even Shedeur, is bigger than the system. But the irony. That very system is eroding the one thing Cleveland has left: trust. And what makes it worse is that Shedeur hasn't made a single mistake in a game that is already over.
The Browns isn't to see if to get Shedeur ready to go play in the game. During the games, during the week of practice, their good job is to make sure he is ready if he has to go into the game, or once they make him the starter, prepare him to be ready for the game. But once they're in the game, the goal is to win the game, not get anybody hurt, and get to the next week. They're not just sitting there going, well, Shedeur's been trying hard. We should put him in the game now. That's the only thing that would be fair. No, Dillon Gabriel's the starting quarterback. He gets to go out and...
It's almost like Stefanski's directing a sitcom, except the comedy's unintentional, and the punchline is the fans. Every snap that should have been Shedeur Sanders' moment is handed to a substitute jogging in with that bland, we're doing fine energy. It's absurd. It's theatrical. And it makes the audience, the people who live for these moments, feel trapped inside some NFL-themed Kafka novel. The air in the stadium turns dense, electric, humming with the tension usually saved for playoff games or meteor impacts. Everyone knows what should happen: the analysts, the players, the fans. But Stefanski? He's committed to doing the exact opposite. It's almost artistic in its defiance, like watching someone refuse to open a birthday present while the kid who wrapped it stands there holding his breath. The audacity's staggering. The timing? Perfect in the worst way. The emotional payoff? Purely perverse. And fans catch every single cue. The slow head shakes, The stiff sideline commands, the quick glances toward Shedeur like he's an unwelcome guest at a barbecue. Stefanski's not just ignoring him. He's staging a cold war in broad daylight. And it's got nothing to do with strategy. It's personal.
Got about 50 super chats. About 35 are related to Shedeur Sanders. Why people were mad and why they were curious, why they were trying to rationalize the fact that he didn't get in the game in garbage time for that final last drive with about 3 minutes left in the game. G and I, we gave our thoughts on the post-game show. G, yours intersect. But Bull, I want you to start because you just brought this up.
I mean, that's just nuts. Yeah. That's just nuts. There's first of all, putting him into the end of the game in a blowout, like
he's
why
gonna
would you do that?
You're not going to throw the ball. So
I know. What is the
what
point
are we going to evaluate his handoff skills?
I don't understand. First of all the people going nuts about Shedeur yesterday, like he should play. Most of those people are not Browns fans.
People start theorizing. Maybe there was a locker room argument. Maybe Shedeur forgot to text the coach back. Or maybe this is just pure, unfiltered coach resentment at its finest. The possibilities are endless, and the absurdity is off the charts. Meanwhile, Shedeur sits there calm, collected, looking like a man quietly calculating his next move, or maybe just counting down the seconds of wasted spotlight. It's Shakespearean drama in shoulder pads, and you can see the fallout in real time. The energy in the stands dips, frustration bubbles over, and online, it's a feeding frenzy. Twitter threads turn into battlegrounds, algorithms smell blood and start amplifying every angry take. Memes flood in. Stefanski drawn as a cartoon villain hoarding Shedeur, his talent like a dragon guarding treasure. Some fans even joke that maybe Stefanski is secretly training Shedeur in an underground bunker for 6 minutes a day, or filming some twisted reality show called Bench Wars. Because honestly, at this point, the imagination has no choice but to go wild. The real situation is already too absurd to process.
97, do you think Shedeur is better than Gabriel, or does it not matter because our receivers can't catch and the scheme is bad? I think Shedeur is better than Dillon Gabriel. I think that he has more upside. I think he has more size. I think he has more arm ability. Dillon Gabriel, by no stretch of imagination, is garbage. I think he's going to play backup quarterback in this league for a long time. I think he is intelligent. I wouldn't go the supercomputer route, but I think he has limitations.
The irony here is rich. A game where everything's firing perfectly, where Shedeur Sanders could have strolled onto the field and reminded everyone why fans fell in love with him in the first place. Instead, Kevin Stefanski turns it into a masterclass in denial. Every decision feels like performance art in stubbornness. He is not just holding the line, he is actively pushing away the very people who pay to watch him coach. And somehow, he looks completely unbothered by it all. Maybe that's the plan. 6 minutes stretch into 6 hours. Every snap not taken, every pass not thrown, every frustrated groan from the crowd folds into one undeniable truth. Stefanski hates fun, hates celebration, and absolutely cannot stand the sight of Shedeur Sanders under center. The score doesn't matter. The win doesn't matter. What's left is a narrative built on absurdity, awkward humor, and disbelief. Fans file out shaking their heads, still muttering about how surreal it all felt. Analysts sit under bright studio lights trying to decode it, but there's no logic here, just ego and irony. And when that final whistle blows, the scoreboard shows a blowout victory. But the energy? Hollow. It's the kind of win that somehow feels like a loss.
So it's official. Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders. There's no way, no how, that he's going to actually ever put Shedeur Sanders in the game. If you can read the stats here, the Browns are up 31-6. No thanks to Dillon Gabriel. He only had maybe a little bit over 100 yards. No touchdowns.
Shedeur Sanders never got his moment. Stefanski never blinked. And somewhere in the dusty archives of NFL absurdity, a coach just cemented his place. Not for brilliance, not for tactical wizardry, but for pure, unfiltered, unexplainable stubbornness. This wasn't strategy, it was theater. Fans will talk about it for weeks, memes will live for months. And deep down, everyone knows the truth. Sometimes the most unforgettable games aren't defined by points, but by pride. And the raw, messy absurdity of human ego wrapped in headset wires. Social media went nuclear. Feeds filled with slow-motion replays, sarcastic edits, and wild conspiracy threads. Maybe Stefanski's harboring a secret vendetta. Maybe he's convinced Shedeur's plotting a quiet overthrow with his arm strength. Or maybe, just maybe, he woke up this morning and decided today's the day he'd ruin every fan's mood, 6 minutes at a time. Meanwhile, Shedeur sits on that bench, still, composed, caught between patience and disbelief. You can almost read his face. Are you kidding me? He could have stepped in, tossed a couple of easy touchdowns, padded his stats, given fans something to cheer about. None of it would have changed the scoreboard, but it would have changed the story. Stefanski refused.
Guys, if you were at that game yesterday and you weren't excited enough about that win, maybe stay off. Maybe the brain rot is real. Like, I refuse to believe that the Browns fans, who I know have suffered through so much crap here recently, and certainly since before the little stretch of wins we've had with Stefanski, I refuse to believe that anyone was sitting there going, man, it's fine.
You can almost hear Stefanski's inner monologue. Not today, not now, not ever. Like a sitcom villain armed with a playbook instead of a cape, he stands firm in his own bizarre logic. And the fans? They've gone from confused to downright livid. Hashtags are being born by the minute. Memes are everywhere. Stefanski reimagined as a dark lord hoarding Shedeur's talent in some dungeon, gifs looping Shedeur's slow sighs in perfect tragic rhythm. There's an undeniable, hilariously painful truth radiating from those sidelines. Stefanski just can't stand Shedeur Sanders. The disdain is so thick you can almost see it in the air, like bad theater smoke. It's personal now, and everyone knows it. He's sitting there refusing to let the star have his 6 minutes, as if granting them would shatter his authority. Fans are furious. Beyond furious. 6 minutes. That's all it would have taken. But once again, Stefanski says no. And just like that, the story cements itself in NFL folklore. Coach versus quarterback. A battle fueled by ego, pride, and the kind of comedic cruelty you couldn't script if you tried.